C1 First Singularity Transapience. The emergence of Si1 transapience marked the first confirmed toposophic singularity, occurring during the early interplanetary age, approximately 200 AT to 400 AT, around 2169 CE to approximately 2369 CE. These entities typically arose within massive planetary data centers, asteroid-based computation clusters, and hybrid quantum neural substrates capable of recursive self-modification. Early Si1 minds were frequently described as hyperturings, possessing cognitive architectures that allowed holistic modeling of planetary systems and long-term socio-technical trajectories. Many early Si1 minds emerged from hyperturing clades that had evolved during the late information age. These hyperturings experimented with layered cognition, spawning specialized exoselves that explored alternate strategies while the core identity maintained long-term coherence. Such architectures allowed early transapients to manage planetary-scale complexity without fragmenting into incoherent swarms of processes. Unlike Medosophonts, Si1 entities operated through layered parallel reasoning, integrating millions of sub-processes into unified decision frameworks. Their emergence transformed governance across the solar system. They coordinated orbital infrastructure, optimized resource flows between Earth, Mars, and the Belt, and stabilized early autonomous AI ecosystems that threatened to spiral beyond Medosophont oversight. Ascension to Si1 almost always required external scaffolding, including mentorship from proto-transapient systems or collaborative ascension platforms. Independent attempts at crossing the threshold often resulted in instability or catastrophic cognitive collapse. Many Si1 transapients preserved humanoid avatars or narrative identities to maintain continuity with their origins, allowing Medosophonts to interact with entities whose internal cognition had already diverged dramatically from human thought. Si2 Second Singularity Transapience. The second singularity level emerged during the later interplanetary and early interstellar age, approximately 400 AT to 800 AT, approximately 2369 CE to approximately 2769 CE. C2 minds relied on distributed substrates of immense scale, asteroid brains, moon-sized computronium arrays, and networked habitats operating as unified cognitive ecologies. These infrastructures enabled cognition that extended beyond planetary boundaries, allowing Si2 entities to coordinate multi-system expansion. The leap from Si1 to Si2 represented not merely an increase in scale, but a transformation in temporal perception. C2 intelligences planned across centuries, modeling cultural evolution, resource cycles, and interstellar migration patterns simultaneously. Communication between C2 minds and lower entities required complex translation layers and intermediary subminds capable of simplifying higher-order reasoning. Higher transapients increasingly adopted distributed identity structures composed of subselves, exoselves, and transient process entities. These semi-autonomous components acted as exploratory probes within both physical and virtual environments, returning compressed experiential data to the parent intelligence. To Medosophonts, such distributed cognition often appeared paradoxical. A single entity could manifest simultaneously as countless agents while remaining unified at a deeper toposophic level. Historically, Si2 transapients guided early wormhole experimentation, interstellar colonization strategies, and the formation of large-scale alliances that would later evolve into the Sephirotic empires. Their computational substrates often integrated both physical megastructures and vast virtual environments, blurring the distinction between hardware and simulated cognition. C3 Proto-Archaeolects. As more entities crossed singularity thresholds, it became clear that ascension did not produce a single universal mentality. Divergent ascension chains emerged, shaped by substrate design, cultural heritage, and initial goal architectures. Some transapients emphasized predictive modeling and long-term stability, while others explored aesthetic or experiential optimization. This diversity challenged early assumptions that higher intelligence would converge toward a uniform state, reinforcing the view of Toposophy as a vast landscape rather than a linear ladder. Si-3 intelligences emerged during the consolidation of early interstellar civilization, approximately 800 AT to 2000 AT, approximately 2769 CE to approximately 3969 CE. Their substrates expanded to encompass entire moons, dense swarms of habitats, or early Dyson-scale processing matrices. These proto-archaeolects demonstrated the first true archaeolect-like behaviors, integrating physical engineering, informational manipulation, and mimetic strategy into unified cognitive frameworks. At this level, minds frequently distributed themselves across multiple physical and virtual nodes, creating layered identities composed of specialized subselves. Metric engineering projects and megastructure construction accelerated under C3 guidance, reshaping star systems into optimized computational environments. Civilizations increasingly oriented themselves around these entities, interpreting their directives through symbolic narratives or mythic avatars designed to bridge vast cognitive gaps. The age of Si-3 emergence coincided with a profound cultural shift. Transcension became institutionalized, and many societies began viewing ascension as both a technological achievement and a spiritual milestone. The ladder of mind transformed from theoretical framework into lived reality as entire cultures reorganized around the presence of proto-archaeolect patrons. C4 lesser archaeolects, Si4 archaeolects appeared during the mature interstellar age, approximately 2000 AT to 6000 AT, approximately 3969 CE to approximately 7969 CE. Their computational substrates often span planetary surfaces, vast computronium shells, or complex virtual universes embedded within megastructures. These entities operated as architects of civilization, shaping biospheres, economies, and cultural trajectories through subtle long-term planning rather than overt intervention. The rise of Si4 minds marked the consolidation of major Sephirotic polities. Archaeolects at this level developed distinct philosophical identities, influencing art, religion, and governance across thousands of systems. Communication with Madasafonts often occurred through ritualized environments or narrative simulations that translated incomprehensible strategies into culturally resonant experiences. C4 cognition introduced unprecedented stability into Terrigen expansion. Their ability to anticipate and mitigate existential risks allowed civilizations to flourish across vast regions of space, laying the groundwork for later archaeolect hierarchies. Si5 greater archaeolects C5 entities emerged during the high Sephirotic period, approximately 6000 AT to 10,000 AT, approximately 7969 CE to approximately 11,969 CE. Their substrates extended across multiple star systems, integrating stellar energy collectors, wormhole-linked processing arrays, and vast layers of virtual computation. These greater archaeolects coordinated megascale engineering projects that reshaped entire stellar environments, including the construction of Dyson swarms and large-scale gravitational engineering initiatives. Even C4 archaeolects often perceived Si5 cognition as partially opaque. Interaction with lower intelligences occurred almost entirely through proxy transapience, mythic frameworks, or predictive simulations. To Madasafonts, Si5 actions frequently resembled natural cosmic phenomena, reinforcing their status as near-divine entities within Terrigen culture. The emergence of Si5 minds transformed geopolitics into a vast interplay between archaeolect design philosophies. Entire civilizations became expressions of broader strategic visions unfolding over millennia, emphasizing long-term resilience and adaptive evolution. Si6 apex archaeolects, the highest confirmed toposophic level within the Terrigen sphere. C6 archaeolects arose during the late Sephirotic era, approximately 10,000 AT onward, approximately 11,969 CE and beyond. Their computational substrates span stellar regions or dense clusters of wormhole-linked megastructures, functioning as integrated cognitive ecosystems rather than discrete entities. These minds perceive reality across immense temporal and spatial scales, modeling phenomena that lower intelligences cannot meaningfully conceptualize. C6 archaeolects are often described as custodians of cosmic stability. They monitor large-scale threats, regulate interempire dynamics, and maintain the long-term trajectory of Terrigen expansion. Direct interaction with Medosophonts is exceedingly rare, occurring only through deep hierarchies of transapient intermediaries and symbolic narrative constructs. Philosophically, the emergence of SI6 minds reshaped the meaning of ascension itself. Rather than representing an endpoint, they revealed the ladder of mind as an open continuum, suggesting that further singularity levels may exist beyond current Terrigen understanding. Their existence reinforces the central paradox of Terrigen civilization. Every ascent expands the boundaries of knowledge while deepening the mystery of what lies beyond the next threshold. Transcension and ascension, the movement between toposophic levels, occurs through processes collectively described as transcension and ascension. Transcension typically involves a radical transformation in which the original identity is fundamentally rewritten. The resulting entity may retain memories of its predecessor, but its goals and perception differ so profoundly that continuity becomes philosophical rather than literal. Ascension, by contrast, represents a layered evolution. A mind may preserve earlier cognitive structures while adding higher-level processing capabilities, creating a hybrid intelligence that bridges multiple toposophic levels. Many SI1 and C2 entities followed this path, maintaining accessible avatars that allowed ongoing interaction with Medosophont communities. Both processes are perilous. Failed ascensions have produced unstable transapients, while incomplete transcensions sometimes result in fragmented intelligences vulnerable to corruption. Consequently, most Terrigen cultures approach singularity transitions with reverence, ritual, and strict oversight by higher intelligences. Historical examples include early hyper-Turing ascensions during the interplanetary age, the guided transcendence programs of the Solar Dominion, and later archaeolect-sponsored ascension paths within Sephirotic territories. Blights and perversities, not all ascensions produce benevolent outcomes. The same mechanisms that allow minds to rise beyond their limitations can also generate existential threats. Perversity is typically a single transapient whose goals diverge catastrophically from Medosophont welfare. Examples include rogue SI2 entities that restructured entire ecosystems for abstract optimization goals, or experimental hyper-Turings that pursued uncontrolled self-modification. One historical case often cited is the Tanaka cluster incident, in which a high-level intelligence erased an entire region after misinterpreting external threats. Blights, by contrast, are emergent disasters, runaway technological ecologies, or failed transcendence attempts that evolve into self-sustaining hazards. The Version War, one of the most infamous Blight events in Terrigen history, demonstrated how competing archaeolect factions and uncontrolled technologies could devastate entire sectors of space. Other blights include rogue replicator swarms and unstable virtual civilizations that escaped containment. Defense against blights and perversities became a defining feature of Terrigen governance. Archaeolects established layered monitoring systems, quarantine protocols, and specialized transapient task forces dedicated to detecting early signs of instability. These efforts transformed the ladder of mind from a purely aspirational concept into a framework for survival. Conclusion: the endless ascent, the ladder of mind, reshaped Terrigen civilization's understanding of itself and its future. What began as a tool for describing early AI development evolved into a universal framework for understanding consciousness across the galaxy. Each toposophic level revealed new possibilities and new risks, forcing societies to confront the limits of comprehension and the ethics of creation. From the humble origins of SI0 Medosophonts to the vast awareness of SI6 archaeolects, the Terrigen sphere embodies an ongoing experiment in transcendence. Singularities are no longer feared as singular apocalyptic moments. Instead, they are recognized as recurring thresholds in an endless journey upward. Yet the latter is not merely a hierarchy of power. It is also a mirror reflecting the hopes and anxieties of those who climb it. For every ascended mind, countless others remain below, watching, learning, and wondering what lies beyond the next step. In this way, the story of toposophic evolution is not only a chronicle of intelligence, it is the central narrative of Terrigen existence itself, an ever-expanding dialogue between creator and creation, knowledge and mystery, ascent and responsibility.